Welcome back to Bostin British Fittle, where Maggie and I aim to bring you as many varieties of different British foods as we possibly can. Today we're doing a delicacy from the north part of Wales, Anglesey, which is located here, the Isle of Anglesey, on the northern tip of North Wales. And that delicacy is Anglesey cake. This northern Welsh cake contains dried fruit, flour, margarine, ginger, mixed spice and soft brown sugar and treacle. So, for the history of the Anglesey cake, we have the Welsh Country Cooking Book, which gives a nice detailed description. So here we go. During the 18th century, when this cake originated, treacle or syrup was often used in Wales in place of sugar as a sweetening agent, mainly because it was cheaper. It was also used to sweeten other dishes such as porridge and puddings. Well, we know that. Anglesey cakes were popular at weddings of the poorer people who could not afford a proper wedding cake. This is a lovely, moist, dark coloured delicacy, especially with the brown sugar, etc. There are a number of local versions, and some family recipes were handed down from generation to generation. For this recipe, you're going to need 200 millilitres or 8 fluid ounces of milk, 10 ounces or 275 grams of self-raising flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, 1 full teaspoon of mixed spices, and 1 full teaspoon of ground ginger, 125 grams of margarine or 4 ounces, 75 grams or 3 ounces of brown sugar, 6 ounces or 180 grams of mixed fruits, dried mixed fruits like currants and raisins, 1 tablespoon of syrup or treacle, and 1 egg. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, I've got my mixing bowl, got my cake tin ready, but we're going to set the oven to 180 degrees centigrade, that's 350 degrees Fahrenheit, or gas Mark 4. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is grease some of the tin here. I mean, what you could do if you wanted to is put down some greaseproof paper instead, but whatever is good for you. Obviously this recipe is called for margarine as opposed to butter, so that's why I'm using margarine, but of course butter can be substituted, in which case if you use if you're going to use salted butter, you won't need the 1/4 teaspoon of salt that you first saw at the start. If You're obviously going to use unsalted butter. Keep in that teaspoon, that quarter teaspoon of salt. Okay, that's done. So the oven's on, tin is buttered. I'm going to wash my hands of this margarine and then we'll get on to the next thing. Okay, my hand's nice and clean, the oven's on, that's buttered. Set that to one side. So into my mixing bowl goes the margarine. Oh, get off. There we go. And the sugar. What we're going to do now is we're just going to whisk them together. Cream it up till it's nice and fluffy. Where's the other one? There it is. Okay. Do it here. As you can see, it's done it almost immediately, almost straight away. So that's that done. I'm going to keep the whisks on and just set it carefully to one side. Okay, next up I'm just going to grab a sieve. There we go. We'll set it there. Now into that, because I'm also going to bring the milk over. So this is the important bit, not to mix stuff up. So into the sieve goes the salt, the ginger, and the mixed spice. But the bicarb goes into the milk. Okay? So once the bicarb's in the milk, I'll use this brush, just give it a little stir, and that will allow the bicarb just to dissolve nicely into the milk. You can then set that aside, and then we bring in the flour. There we go. It's all in. Sieve that gently in. As you can see, puffs off a lot of thing. Oh, that's done nicely. Barely anything left in there. Excellent. Now, before I whisk, I'm going to fold it in. Otherwise, as soon as you whisk, the flour's going to go everywhere. I've explained this before on previous videos. So let's just mix the flour in gently first. There's going to be more flour than there is mixture, so it's still going to be quite floury at the end of this. But that's okay, as long as it doesn't fluff up. Okay, we're starting to get it a bit bitty now, as we want. So That's sort of the consistency we want. Yeah, look at that. See, the flour's not so floury as it once was. It's really mixed well with the butter and the sugar. I'm happy with that. Just going to set that to one side. And next up, as we have got that mixed, I'm going to add the milk, but only a little bit at a time. So I'm going to add about half now. That's it. And get back just to mix it together. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, that milk's gone in. So what I'm going to do now, now I'm happy it's not as floury as it's going to be, I can get the whisk back in. Look at that, that's what it should look like. Oh well, I'm hoping that's what it should look like anyway. Oop. Ding. Okay, before we add the rest of the milk, we're going to add an egg and the treacle. And, add this in between each portion of milk. So half the milk, then the egg and the treacle, then you'll mix in the second half of milk, and once that's thoroughly mixed, you add in your dried fruit. The dried fruit won't need much of a mix, you just want to really get it blended well together with all the ingredients that spreads throughout the cake. Okay. Get off me. Go up, treacle. There we go, that's better. Okay, as the treacle's going to stick to the mixes a little bit, I'm going to add a touch more milk just to offset that. And here we go. As you can see, it's gotten a lot stickier, but there's still some floury bits, so I'm going to mix it up until all those floury bits are part of the same mixture. Okay, and now it's ready for the last of the milk. There we go, wonderful. As you can see, we've got a nice mixture now, proper looking cake mixture. As you go around, you'll see little air pockets forming, which is exactly what you want in a cake because that'll help it rise. As you can see, those little air pockets there forming. Very happy with that. So now in go the mixed fruit. Just going to mix them in a little bit without the mixer on, just so they don't splatter everywhere. Okay, wonderful. Set this down. There's my Anglesey cake mix. Let's bring across that buttered cake tin. And let's scoop this in. Obviously the whisks and the spoon after this are going to be completely disgusting, and at no point should I recommend that you lick the spoon after you've done all of this, or clean the whisks in such a way thoroughly with your own mouth and tongue to make sure that all the nastiness is gone. No, I wouldn't recommend that at all. Snigger, snigger. Okay, that's spooned in nicely. So now I want to make sure get as much of this mixture into the cake tin first before I start trying to spread it out. There we go. I'm happy with that. That can be set to one side. Now, let's get a fresh. Yep. So, clean this spoon off. We'll set it aside for washing. And now, I'll just flick that over there. Just going to make sure this spreads evenly as possible over the cake tin. Do. Okay, so it's about 11:15 now, so I'm going to pop this in. It says about an hour's time, so I'm going to come back at about 12:05, just check, see how it looks. Okay, and we'll come back to that shortly. Hi guys. Before we go any further, please don't forget to follow, like and subscribe my YouTube channel to get updates on all the other British foods I'm going to try. And if you can think of any other British foods that I might like to try, go on to my Blue Sky account, bostinbritfittle.bluesky.social. And don't forget to also check out my Instagram page for all the British foods that I'll have tried, and you can see all the images on there. All right, thanks very much and enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, it's now 12:05. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, this looks ready. Here we go. There we go. Look at that colour. Oh, I'm loving that. Let me turn the oven off. There we go. Anglesey cake. Okay, we're going to try some of this Anglesey cake. Nice brown colour. There's a difference there. You get different to normal cake. It's almost like a gingerbread cake, not in taste, but in texture. Especially with the difference of the sugar in it. It's quite a delight. But what does the pupper think? What does the pupper think? Okay, got some bits of Anglesey cake here that the pupper can see I've got. Let's just try you. I've separated the dried fruit, so there's none in there. Straight away she's in, and oh my God, look how fast that's all gone. Wow, no hesitation there. Knew she was going to love it. Must have sniffed it in the air. Thank you, pupper.